So, in relation to what's happening in Egypt right now, according to the Mayans, according to Professor Kalaman, the phase in the development of the consciousness of the phenomenon on day one is what they refer to as sowing, like sowing seed. So it's the initial expressions of a new consciousness. Now, mind you, that happened, and according to this calendar, which was written obviously prior to 2004, February 11th, 2011 is the day that this initial expression of the new consciousness is to take place. And of course, we've seen that happen. Now, night is, of course, the response to that. You can think of it like that. The inner assimilation of this new consciousness, which we saw the calendar before, and the dates that were going to be March 3rd, I believe. And we'll skip the dates, but I just want to lay out the groundwork of how why this cyclical sort of calendrical system makes sense, because it's based on natural rhythms, biorhythms, sleep cycles, so to speak, night and day and night, cycles of destruction and birth, etc., etc. So after the inner assimilation of new consciousness comes the germination period. This is the expansive push of the new consciousness. Then the reaction against the new consciousness, and then the sprouting is the establishment of the new consciousness, which of course is the response to the reaction against the new consciousness, right? And then the inner assimilation of the established new consciousness, so there's probably going to be some issues there. And then the proliferation, which is the new consciousness balances old consciousness, most pertinent expression of new consciousness. So it's sort of a proliferation of what works and what doesn't work. You can look at it that way. A synthesis, so to speak, up with the old and with the new. And then we've got Tlaloc, bridge building to prepare for expansion of new consciousness. So I can see this as the Muslims and the Jews and the Hindus and all of the rest of the different various religious groups realizing that we don't have to fight against each other. It's a lot easier to work together and cooperate than it is to just have a system based on nothing but endless warfare and destruction. No, the only people who win are the people at the very top of that pyramid. So this is what this is all about. And the Mayans predicted it. They understood, or some other force understood, the cycles of human consciousness, really. Because this is what this is all about. So budding is the breakthrough of the most pertinent expression after the bridge building. And then we have destruction, which is the god of darkness in the 10th heaven. And flowering, Renaissance protoform of highest expression of new consciousness. The resting and fine-tuning of the protoform of new consciousness. And then the final and last one, the 13th heaven, and 13 again, is in day 7. So you get the 7 and the 13. Fruition, manifestation of the highest expression of the new consciousness, which is going to happen on October 28th, 2011. So I would expect that if we are to see the so-called return of the gods, whether that's good or bad remains to be seen, I think we can safely say that that date will most likely be. This is the beginning, and this is where it will all end up. Exciting stuff.